Well, the police in South Africa needs to reform. They need actually to be reformed. And you could see at obvious times they're taking sides and they're biased. However, within the last 1 year, under this administration, 4 South African policemen are currently being tried for killing Nigerians. However, that is not enough. Let the trial be concluded and let justice be done so that those policemen who are found guilty must be punished. I didn't hear what you said about the shops thing, but I know that foreigners are actually threatening to leave South Africa, because don't forget that Nigeria is not the only, there's also the xenophobic attack, which South Africa needs to actually deal with. They cannot pretend that it's not happening. It is happening, and they need to deal with it seriously. South African blacks need to know that you can live peacefully with your brothers and sisters. And like I said, one bad apple should not spoil the whole bunch. And there should be massive awareness within the communities, at the communal level. There's no problem at the government-to-government level. But at the communal level, we need to talk to each other and, embark on massive awareness campaigns. But we're also optimistic with the new president of South Africa. We're expecting that these issues will be dealt with the way it should be. And we're also, and there's a new foreign affairs minister that our minister would also be meeting with us very, very soon. So hopefully this should be a thing of the past. Don't forget that crime is high in South Africa. There's a whole lot of insecurity in South Africa. I mean, according to the statistics, about 50 crime killings are recorded virtually every month. So South Africa needs to deal with these issues, and decisively too.
You take a look at the government of Nigeria, the federal government that is. What message can you tell the people of Nigeria living in South Africa? How do you want to reassure them that they're safe, that they won't be next on the list of those who will be killed tomorrow or even today? Well,
unfortunately, I wish I could be very, very optimistic, but I'll just tell our Nigerian brothers and sisters that don't take the law into your hands. Everything is being done to ensure that you are protected. And I want to commend our mission in South Africa, in Johannesburg, at Pretoria, the consulate and the High Commission, for actually being very proactive. A lot of times, they've always been at the scene immediately it happens. They've been in touch with the members of the South African community. So I appeal to our brothers and sisters in South Africa to continue to engage with the Nigerian authorities in South Africa, work together, and ensure that these things are properly tackled on our level. So we continue to hope that South Africa will do the needful. As long as those who perpetrate this crime are not punished, it will continue to happen. So the key thing is to ensure that anyone who is involved in any of these killings, whether it's Nigerian or not, any of these killings should be penalized. There must be consequences for all these actions. So we are hoping that will happen, and happen soon. As much as, like I said, 4 policemen are currently on trial for killings of Nigerians, let's see the end of this case so that it will be a deterrent to others. And to our brothers and sisters in South Africa, just obey the laws of the country you are. And I'll stress one thing. We're talking about killings and all that, which is, very, very sad and demoralizing. There are many Nigerians doing great things in South Africa. There are many Nigerian professionals in South Africa that are working very, very well. In fact, without them, South Africa would also, have a lot of things to lose. So we commend them, and we hope that South Africa will do everything possible to stop these killings. It's not good news at all. And to those who are saying, well, reciprocity, we are not going to start burning homes of South Africans in Nigeria. We're not going to start attacking South African businesses in Nigeria. That's not who we are as a people.
Many thanks.
That's not what we're going to turn to. So we appeal to South African authorities to ensure they do what is right and show us that they are sincere about tackling xenophobia and crime in South Africa.
Many thanks. We've been talking to the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Mrs. Dabiri-Erewa. Thank you for joining us on the program. In Malawi, right groups and activists are calling for capital punishment to halt attacks on people with albinism. There have been 22 unsolved murders of people with albinism in the last 4 years, sparking calls for killers to be executed to deter attacks. Malawi is one of the most dangerous countries in the world for people with a lack of pigmentation in the skin, hair and eyes who are targeted so that their body parts can be used in magic potions or other ritual practices.
About 1 in 20,000 people worldwide have the congenital disorder, with a higher rate in sub-Saharan Africa. 31-year-old Ronex Bondo is one of them. He works as a receptionist in a government office in Lilongwe, Malawi, as he studies for his bachelor's degree in public administration. Born with albinism, he has struggled with discrimination and says he has always had to be cautious.
Initially, it was like it's a thing that is more in the villages, but now it's been coming into the urban setup where some of us live, and that is bringing a lot of fear. Like in my case, I could not go out beyond 6 p.m. It's something that my family worry as to where I am. So government could have learned from other areas because Malawi is not unique.
The Association of People with Albinism in Malawi, which helps people with the condition, says there have been 22 murders in 146 attacks since 2014. Rights groups and activists have been holding meetings in various districts of the country so that people with albinism can engage with authorities on how the killings can be stopped, calling for the death penalty for those that are caught attacking.
If people who are suspected in the cases of persons who have been, whether they'll be given life imprisonment, whether they'll be given a death penalty, I think that will not really matter to us. What we are focusing on is access to justice. While we're speaking now, we're talking about the 22 murder cases. None of them has gone to court.
Malawi suspended capital punishment more than 20 years ago as it embraced democratic reforms. Although the death penalty still exists in law, it has been declared unconstitutional.
If much of them are advocating for death, then so be it. But as of now, I cannot outright state that the death penalty is the right approach.
Rights groups are calling on the government to establish a commission of inquiry to find out who is behind the attacks amid claims that they are organized by criminal gangs. Attacks against people with albinism have occurred elsewhere in southern and eastern Africa, including in Mozambique, South Africa, Tanzania, and Burundi.
Still to come on the program, we'll be speaking to the CEO of the Albino Foundation, plus products carrying pictures of Egypt's soccer star Mohamed Salah on display, boosting sales ahead of the Ramadan fast. Please join us again.